Whether you know me in real life or online, you know that I love matcha, especially a strawberry matcha latte. So I decided to take that love and turn it into a brand new product, a candle that looks just like my favorite drink. Welcome to my strawberry matcha candle series, Whisk and Wick, where I'll be bringing you along for every step of the process, from ideation and inspiration to the final candle. So grab a matcha and let's get into it. Hello and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to episode 2 of Whisk and Wick. In today's video, I'm going to be testing out actually making a strawberry matcha latte candle, and it's gonna happen over the course of a couple of days because I need to do things in steps. So today I'm going to set up my candle station and make the ice cube part of the candles and begin to let that set, and then I will pick up the video on a different day once we're making another part of the candle. But I'm very excited. I have all the percentages written down for fragrance oils. Everything's good to go other than the amount of wax I need to melt, which I will figure out today in terms of how much I need for the ice cubes, and then I'll figure out how much wax I need for the actual candles on the day that I do that. So yes, if you're new here, welcome. You probably understand what I'm doing from the intro of this video, but I'm making strawberry matcha latte candles where the candle is going to actually look like a strawberry matcha drink. So let's just get right into this video. I'm gonna head to the garage to set up my candle station. Originally, I was gonna make the candles in the basement, but Sean and I talked and we decided the garage would be better for a few different reasons. One, there's already a really nice table in there that I can use, and there's an outlet like right above the table. It's like the perfect setup. And then 2, I can open the garage doors and it will circulate the air better as I'm working with the fragrances. I'm not working with any fragrances today, but yeah, without further ado, let's go set up my candle station and start making the little ice cubes. Okay, so this is my workstation, and I'm gonna start by putting everything that I'm gonna need for these candles on it, even if I'm not using the materials today. So like wicks I'm not using today, but I'm still gonna put them out. Same with the wax. And the stuff I'm not using today, I'm gonna keep it to the left. Everything else I'll put to the right, because that's where I'm gonna be working. I have fragrance oils. Those aren't gonna be used today either. Set them out. The only thing I'm not gonna put out right now are the candle vessels themselves, because I don't want them to get dusty. I have the gel wax here. The wax melter, of course. So I have wax, fragrances, wicks, all to the left side, like I was saying. And then let me go through everything that I'm using today on the right side. And then this plugs in to this side. Right here controls the temperature. I'm gonna turn it off. This is how I'm gonna do this. So I filled this pitcher that I'm gonna use to pour wax into and out of. I filled it with water, as you can see, so that I can figure out how much wax I need, because I don't want to waste wax. I'm gonna be filling up this silicone mold with gel wax, and I don't know if I'm gonna fill, I think I'm gonna fill most of it, if not all of it, and then I'll save the spare ice cubes and put them to the side to use in future candles. I'm only gonna make a few test candles to start so I don't waste materials, because things are bound to go wrong, so I don't want to make like a whole batch and then have a bunch of candles I can't sell. But when it comes to the ice cubes, like I said, think I can save some for future candles. So I'm kind of confident I'm not gonna mess those up. It's still possible. But basically what I did was I weighed the weight of this pitcher, wrote that down. Then I zeroed out the scale with the pitcher on it, filled it with water, weighed it again. That told me how much water was in the pitcher. And then after I pour water into the ice cube tray, I'm gonna weigh this again and then subtract the weight of the container. That'll tell me how much water is left over. Then I'm gonna take the initial water amount, subtract it from the water left over, and that will tell me how much water I used in the ice cube trays. Then I'm gonna multiply that number by 0.86, because wax is about 86% the density of water, and that will tell me how much wax I need to put into here and melt down and then put into the mold. So basically I'm using water to figure out how much wax I need for the same amount of ice cubes. I already weighed the water, the initial measurements of it, so I'm good to just pour it into the ice cube mold. Okay, I'm gonna start in the middle. I don't want it to overflow, and I'm literally just gonna fill each individual ice cube. Oh, guess not. Just trying to be careful because I want it to be obviously accurate. Oh, there it goes, there it goes. Wait, divert the water. I could have probably filled half the tray and then doubled the calculation to see how much it would take to do the whole tray, or just on like a smaller amount of the tray, like a quarter of it even. But I'm just thinking about that now. So this is what we're doing. So now I'm gonna measure out the gel wax. Okay, oh, this is weird. I don't know how heavy this is gonna be. Let's see what a little bit is. Okay, let's see what this is. 303 grams. Now I'm just gonna pour that into the wax melter and get that heated up. This is what it's looking like. Should be at 230 is the melting point. It's so hot, it's at 270. I definitely wanna turn that down. Okay, I'm just gonna stir it up to help it melt quicker. Okay, the gel wax is melted. I'm going to pour all of it into my pitcher. I need to let it cool to like 225-ish before I pour into the molds. I feel like it pours a lot slower than normal wax. The wax along the side is like cooling already, so I want to mix that back in. Cools really quickly, it seems like. It's obviously okay if I don't fill up all the little ice cubes. That's the goal, but it's also my first time doing the ice cubes, so I don't want to waste any if it goes wrong. I'm gonna focus on doing the middle ones, and I'll do the side ones after in case it spills. It's a lot easier to work with than the water, which I thought would be the case. And you're not gonna like see the ice cubes fully. You're kind of gonna see like the corners of them, some of the surfaces, because it's gonna be covered with soy wax in the candle. So this isn't like a super important step when it comes to aesthetics. At least I'm not deeming it a super important step. Wow, this cools quickly. It's cooling so quickly. Like, look at how gooey it is. Maybe I need to do this in smaller batches and not all the wax at once. Hello? I didn't think it would cool this quickly though. Okay, wait, no, this is stupid. I'm going to put the rest of the wax back into the heater, heat it back up. I'm gonna figure it out as I go, girl, and this is part of that process. So I just finished with the ice cubes that I'm gonna make for the first test batch of candles. And there was a good amount of wax left. I definitely think it would have filled up the ice cube molds that I didn't fill. I just put it back in this bag. I'm really happy with this wax and how easy it is to reuse. I'm gonna let this set for probably a day or two, and then we can take them out of the molds and start working on the other parts of the candle as well. So I will see you on a different day to continue the process. Okay, it's the next day and the ice cubes have been sitting for over 24 hours, and I just put this piece of parchment paper over it so that no dust settled on top. So I'm just gonna take the wax ice cubes out of here and put them into a little Tupperware to save some space and have them ready for when I need to put them into the candles. And that's all I'm gonna do today for candle stuff. My parents are actually coming over in a few minutes. Figured I would do this really quickly so that next week, probably, maybe, I have a busy week next week, I can work on the actual candles. Ooh, let me show you a little closer. I think they look so realistic. That's gonna be so cute in the candle. They're a little narrow, like the height is short. We're gonna see, obviously, if that bothers me. And some of them are thicker. If I filled them a little higher, you can see the difference. I'm gonna be making at least the strawberry part of the candle today. That is the plan, as long as everything goes to plan. Maybe even the green, we will see. But I have everything written down in terms of temperatures that I need to put fragrance oil in at and pour at. I have all the measurements for how much fragrance oil and wax I'm using, and the basic steps on how I'm gonna do this. So that's here, I will be referencing that. I also am using 2 different candle vessels, and I'm testing 2 different wicks. So I plan to make 4 candles for this first test run. So I'm gonna do 2 of these vessels with each wick, and then 2 of these vessels with each wick. And we will do burn tests on all of them. I really like these vessels. I think it's what I'm gonna go with. Like I said in the first episode, we'll see what the price difference is. These ones are really cute too. They just look like drinking glasses, which I love because it's like a drink, you know? So first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bring you over here so you have a better view. I'm gonna prep the candle jars. I'm gonna write down the different wicks I'm using as well on this piece of tape, like in front of each vessel. I don't know exactly how I want to have it laid out. I want it to be easy to pour. So probably like this. So I have a bottle, spray bottle with alcohol in it here that I'm going to use to just clean out each vessel and get any oils and dust off of them. So we're gonna be working with fragrance oil and with coloring today. I've never worked with coloring for candle wax before, so that will be interesting. Should be easy, you just use a couple drops. I'm curious though to see the difference in the coloring when it's hot in the wax and once it cools. So I kind of don't want to pay too much attention to the coloring when it's hot, because it'll probably cool to be like a lighter shade as the wax hardens. I kind of feel like the coloring is gonna be what's hard to figure out and test to get the right coloring, but I'm gonna write down everything as I do it so I know exactly what I did to get the outcome that I got. Okay, so this will be Eco 12 and then Eco 10. Okay, so I need these little tabs to stick them down. Okay, so these are all good to go. They're all labeled, ready for wax to be poured into them. I have my fake ice cubes over here, wax ice cubes. And like I said, all the measurements and everything are written down. Okay, now I'm gonna measure out the wax and get it heated up. I definitely need a scoop or something for this wax. For now, I'm just gonna use my hands. Okay, I think this is ready to pour. Here I go. I wonder if it's clogged from the other kind of wax. Okay, so as you just saw, the wax that I used for the ice cubes, the gel wax, was clogged in here. I thought I had unclogged it, but apparently not enough. So I just kind of flushed that out with some soy wax and made the decision that I'm gonna get a different melter for working with the gel wax so that I don't have to deal with that. And this will be the designated soy wax one. I added a bunch more wax as well. I'm measuring the wax in here so I can have more in here, which is also necessary because when there isn't enough wax in here, it's hard for the spout to pour it. So I'm letting more wax melt down. Okay, it's at 192, which is good. I'm gonna let all that wax finish melting, which should only take a minute or so. And then I'm just gonna make sure I know the next steps. So I'm gonna pour the wax into the pitcher. I'm gonna let it cool to 185-ish. Gonna add my fragrance, stir for 2 minutes, and then let it cool again before I pour them into the vessels. And I'm gonna measure how much I'm pouring into each vessel and write that down. Okay, and then I'll add some ice cubes into them as well, I think. And then I'm gonna start prepping the green, I think, after that, because I want the green to look blended into the pink. Originally, I was just gonna do pink and then let it cool and then just warm the top and add the green, but I think I'm gonna do it all today. I almost forgot, I want to measure the fragrance oil before I put it into the candles. So, need this one. This is the strawberries and cream. I'm gonna have it scented like strawberry matcha, of course. Okay, it's a little more, but close enough. And then the next one, this is matcha scented. I'm gonna mix it, make it sure it's well incorporated and smell it. I like it. Okay, now let's pour the wax. Okay, I just finished stirring and now I'm gonna add the dye. I'm gonna do 2 drops of pink to start, or red, sorry. 1, 2. I don't know if that's considered a drop. That was like a lot, but I have it on camera to see. Then I'm gonna take the cream to make it like, the cream. 1, 2. Again, that's probably like 4 to 6 drops. Stir that up. It's experimental at first. I have to remind myself of that because I usually like things to be perfect on the first go, but that is not what's gonna happen here. Okay, now it's at 160. I want it at 135 before I pour. So let's go over to the first vessel. I think I decided I'm gonna put a couple of the ice cubes in at first, and then I'll put some in after, I don't know exactly when, maybe when I do the green for sure, actually, but I don't know if I'm gonna add any more to the pink. So I'm gonna put one at the bottom. I'm gonna keep it away from the wick and kind of pressed up against the vessel. Do another one. Okay, the wax is still cooling, so I'm gonna prep these jars with the ice cubes as well. Again, I'm just doing 2 at the bottom. I also just ran inside and put this apron on because I'm not trying to ruin my clothes, which I totally would do. We are at 144 degrees. Like I said, I want it at 135. So, just gonna stir this until it's there. Okay, it's just about at 135, so I'm gonna start pouring. I think I'm gonna do that. That's like 155. Write that down. Okay, time for the green. I'm gonna measure out the fragrance oil again. I'm a little nervous because I don't know how much I should let this settle and cure until I add the green. From videos I've seen, it doesn't really like mix completely together. It stays like separate. So that's my concern is it just gonna like mix all together? Because that is definitely not the look I want to go for. Decisions. Let me watch some more videos and see how people do this, if they let this cure completely or a little bit. Okay, I decided this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let these sit for like maybe an hour or 2, and then I'll write down however long I let them sit. Then I'm gonna add the green, and then I'm gonna use a heat gun if necessary along the side to help blend the green into the pink a little bit. That's the plan. I also am curious to see how this pink turns out in terms of color. I'll see you in a couple hours to do the green. Okay, so this is clearly not the color I'm going for. It's much more red. I think I need to reduce the drops of red and the drops of cream. I'm gonna continue though with this because I wanna do burn tests with these ones, and I might even make another candle today to see if I can alter the color to how I want it. But right now I'm gonna take a heat gun and heat, well actually, I'm gonna start heating the wax again so I can get that melted down because I wanna do the green. And I still need to experiment with the green color, so that's why I'm not just like wasting this. So I have my heat gun plugged in. I am heating up the wax, and I will see you once the wax is at the right temperature and we can run the heat gun over the tops of these. And that's gonna help with any sinkholes, but it's also gonna help blend this like red that's supposed to be pink into the green, so it looks like an actual matcha latte moment, and it's not just two very distinct layers. Okay, let's see if I can control this a little better. I'm going to attempt to do 1 drop of lime green, and then, no, 2 drops of lime green, 1 drop of cream. 1, 2, okay. And then cream. The other one, I probably shouldn't have even squeezed it. 1, beautiful. I feel like this coloring will be a lot more accurate. Now I'm just gonna let this cool. While that cools, I'm going to heat up tops of these, like I was saying. Okay, these ones are still curing. I don't really have a good idea on how they're gonna look. As you can tell, it doesn't look green yet. This one, I did a single candle with less red and less cream. So we'll see how that turns out. I'm gonna go inside right now and write everything down for how I made these candles, and then gonna write how I want to adjust things for the next batch of candles. So yeah, I'm gonna go do that, write everything on my computer because this sheet is covered in wax and just a little scattered. So I know that if this is all I have, the next time I go to make candles, I will be kind of confused. So let me go do that, and I will see you after once these have cured a little bit more to see how they're looking. Okay, it's been a little bit. It's not done curing. Clearly they do not look right. First batch, this is definitely a test batch. The red definitely mixed into the like matcha color green in a way that I don't want. So I think I'm going to have more of a harsh line between the pink and green. I saw a lot of people mixing like the green when their white wax was not cured at all. And I think it was like okay, and they could get away with that because when the white wax mixed into the green a little bit, it didn't like make it look muddy, because it was white, which is already like in that matcha color. You know what I mean? Whereas the red mixing into the green, it makes it look like really muddy. So I think that's what happened here. I definitely have to do some more test rounds. I think I'm gonna try to reuse these vessels when I do more testing and just like take the wax out of here because I don't wanna waste vessels. But regardless, these vessels won't go to waste. At some point, I will take the wax out of them, whether it's for a new test batch or just later. Okay, it's been about a week and I'm about to do a burn test on these. I have 2 different wicks, like I was saying. I'm gonna trim them down to 1/4 inch and I'm gonna burn them for 2 to 3 hours and see how they do. These are like the not good ones, but I wanna see how the wicks do. Anyways, because the only thing that's really messed up here is the coloring. Also, I noticed that there's like liquid on the top. It's like sweating, but I don't think it's from the heat because it's not that hot in the garage, which is where I just took these from. So I'm wondering if it's like oil separating or something. I'm not sure. It smells really strong of the fragrance, but I'm gonna light these. I'm doing it inside so I can monitor them since it is, you know, fire. So I'm just gonna let these burn for like 2 to 3 hours, like I said, and we will see if there's any tunneling and just see how they're looking. Okay, these have been burning for 3 hours, and I'm testing 2 wicks. We have the Eco 12, Eco 10, Eco 12, Eco 10. They're just in different vessels. I've already decided that I want to go with this vessel, so I didn't really have to do the burn test on these ones, but I was just curious to see if it stayed consistent because it gives like the wick 2 tries and I can just get a better idea of how it's burning. I definitely think I want to go with the Eco 12. The Eco 10 isn't too bad in this vessel, but in this one, the candle's definitely underwicked. And for the Eco 12, both vessels look really good. There's a full melt pool. And yeah, I'm really happy with these results. I feel like Eco 12 was consistent in both vessels, especially this one, which is the vessel I want to go with, like I said. The ice cubes melted really nicely as well. It looks really cool as it's burning as well. But I'm going to keep doing tests on these off camera. So tomorrow I'll probably do another 3 to 4 hours and just see how they go. It also smells super good in this house, which makes sense. We have 4 candles burning. But I'm going to blow these out and I will see you when it's time to make another batch of candles and hopefully get the coloring correct. It's the next day and I'm about to make another batch of candles with the vessels that I want to sell them in. We'll see how this goes. I do have higher hopes though when it comes to the coloring because I don't know why I didn't think about this earlier, but I thought of a way that I can test the color of the wax before making all the candles and still be able to adjust the color, which is simply taking some of the wax after I mix the color in, putting it on parchment paper, letting it cool, and then seeing what the color looks like, and it should only take a couple seconds to cool, so then I can adjust the color accordingly. So I'll start small with fewer drops of the dye because obviously I can't remove drops of dye, so I can always add more if I need it. I have the wax heating up. Like I said, I have the vessels I want to use. I also have the wicks that worked out, so these are the Eco 12 wicks, and I'm going to do 4 candles. I don't know if I'm going to get to the green today. If I do, it's going to be later today once the pink is like solidified. But we have the wax heating up. Let me see what it's at. Okay, it's at 204. So I'm gonna get right into this. I'm gonna pour the wax, add the fragrance oil, and then we can experiment with the dye and the coloring, which I am very excited for. So let's do it. Okay, so the plan is to have bigger ice cubes. I don't think I talked about this with you, but I ordered a tray where I want to put the gel wax into. It's like a baking tray, and let it harden, and it's essentially going to make a big block of the gel wax, and then I can just use a knife to cut it up into cubes. I may have mentioned that yesterday, but that's a plan, and when I do it that way, I'm going to get bigger ice cubes. So what I'm going to do today to mimic that is stack 2 ice cubes together, and it should give me an ice cube similar to ones that I'm going to make with my new method. So I'm going to put essentially 4 ice cubes at the bottom. I'm going to try my best to keep it from touching the wick. Now I'm going to add the dye. So when I first did the pink dye, I did like 8 drops. That was way too much. I'm going to start with 2. I should actually probably just start with 1, but I think that's going to be way too late. Let's start with 1 because, like I said, I can't take any dye out. 1 drop, gonna mix it up. And then I'm gonna do a very small drop of the cream. Mix that in. So I essentially did 1 drop of each. I'm gonna take my parchment paper and just put a little amount so I can see what it's gonna look like when it dries. Okay, the wax just cooled, and this is the color that it's giving, and I am really happy with it. I think it's a perfect strawberry milk color. I really wanted like a baby pink, a light pink, and yeah, I think that's good. I'm wondering if we want it a little pinker, but I don't think so. I think that's a perfect like milky pink color. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour the rest of these. And that's good to know that I just need 1 drop of each, not 6.
Just got to move. Take a look at all the shining lights.
Okay, everything looks good. I feel really good about this round. The ice cubes are not touching the wick. The wicks are centered. So I'm gonna let these sit for a few hours, like I was saying, and then I'll come back later after they're solidified and we can do the green wax. Okay, it's like 5 hours later and I am reporting back with some very exciting news. We've achieved the perfect milky pink color in the candle. It literally could not be more perfect. Like, I want to drink this. Again, this is supposed to resemble strawberry milk. So I am so happy with that. And right now I'm actually gonna go ahead and do the green. So I'm gonna do it the same way I did the pink, where I put a little drop of it onto parchment paper to see how the color is before I pour. Also, let me show you something fun I did. I put the gel wax into this little baking dish to make the ice cubes differently. Like I was saying, once this sets, I'm gonna peel it out and then use a knife to cut up the ice cubes. It's just gonna be a lot faster when it comes to making the ice cubes. So this is all ready to go. It's just setting, and I can probably do that tomorrow for future batch of candles because I have enough of the ice cubes I made the other day to finish these candles. Also, I have so many vessels underneath here now. All of these are candle vessels that came in today. But let me measure out this oil, pour the wax, and experiment with the green color. Okay, so I think I'm gonna end up doing 2 drops of the green, but again, since I can't take drops out, I'm gonna start with just 1 drop, see how it looks. 1, and then I'm also gonna do a small drop of the cream and stir that up, and then put some on the parchment to see what it looks like. I feel like I might not need cream coloring in this. We'll see. I think I'm gonna at least need another drop of the green dye, but let me let that little drop cool and see what it's looking like. Okay, so the wax is cooled to the pouring temperature, so I need to pour it. I did a bunch of different tests. This was 1 drop lime green, 1 drop cream, not the right color. This was 2 drops lime green, 1 drop cream, not the right color. This is 2 drops lime green, 1 drop cream, and 1 drop hunter green, so a different green color, and that looks like it's gonna be perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour, and I'm hoping this doesn't mix into the pink. The goal is to have 2 distinct layers this time. Now I'm just going to add the ice cubes in, and then I'll put the wick stabilizers back on and let them cure until we can see how the color looks. And hopefully this was, dare I say, a perfect batch. Also, I do plan to run a burn test on one of these just to make sure it's still going good, even with the changes in dye amounts, which it shouldn't make a difference. But I am actually running another burn test inside. Let me show you. Hello, Duncan. So I've been burning these candles for like 3 hours, and I'm still confident in the Eco 12. The Eco 10 seemed to, like I said, be a little too small. So yeah, very exciting. Like I said, I'll do burn tests on this batch and then probably on the next batch too when I have larger ice cubes, but I'm trying to keep the ice cubes similar in size, so it shouldn't make a difference there either. But just to be sure, I want to burn test the like final version of whatever candle I'm doing. So I might do that like off camera, but yeah, that is the update. I will see you when it's time to check out the matcha candle. Okay, I don't think you're ready for this. They're so cute. I'm very happy with this green color and the pink color, and I like how the ice cubes peek out the top. I'm probably gonna do at least 3, maybe 4 ice cubes at the tops of them. These are already like cooling. I'm probably gonna cut that tomorrow. Okay, it's the next day, and I decided I wasn't fully happy with the candles in their appearance. So I'm gonna try another round where I use more ice cubes, and I'm gonna try to blend the 2 colors. Obviously, the first time I tried to blend them, it didn't go very well, but I think that's also because I know that's also because I had so much dye. So we're gonna try again. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let the pink sit for different intervals of time in each candle. So the first candle, I'm gonna let it sit for 5 minutes before adding the green, then 10 minutes before adding the green, 15 minutes, and 20 minutes. And we'll see which one blends the best. I think I'm gonna label them after, like 5, 10, 15, 20. The wax is melting, so I'm just gonna get right to this. I'm going to pour the wax, add the fragrance, add the dye, and then do what I just explained.
Hidden compartments beneath the floorboards, secret encoders made only for us.
So I realized I cannot do 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes because I'm gonna have all the wax in the pitcher and it can't sit for 20 minutes. It's gonna be way too cool to pour. I maybe can do 5 and 10 minutes. And the reason I have all the wax in there is because that's kind of the smallest amount of wax I can have in order to get the right green color, because I have to put like 1 drop of a certain color and 1 drop of another color, and I can't do like half a drop and just put less wax in the pitcher, if that makes sense. So I think I'm gonna do less pink, so I'll alter those calculations after, like I'll write them down after.
Lost in a crowd, exile on Main Street. Letters and smoke, a chain reaction. Was I supposed to feel this attraction?
Okay, I decided to do them all at least 10 minutes. 5 minutes honestly just didn't give me enough time to prep the green wax, and I don't think it was really gonna have much effect between like pouring it right away and waiting 5 minutes. So we're doing 10 minutes. I might be able to do a 15-minute one too. We'll see where the wax is at. I don't want it to get too cool, but at least 10 minutes for 2 of them. If not 2 of them, then I'll do all 4 for 10 minutes. Yeah, you can already see it starting to cool. The goal here by waiting is to let it cool a little bit so that the green wax doesn't just completely mix in with the pink. I still want some type of division, but I do want it to start blending. So I'm hoping by letting it cool a little bit, it will give me the look I want. I also think it would be a good idea to add some ice cubes on top of the pink before I add the green layer in. So I'm gonna do that as well.
This attraction. Borderlines that we cross them. Borderlines of blurred out signs that we lost them. Watching towers rise above the floodlights. Borderlines that come through lives of the loved ones.
So now I'm just gonna let these sit. I feel like they're gonna look really good. We will see. Again, I don't want too much pink in the green. I more so want green in the pink, so we will see. But if it's blended, even if the pink is in the green, it might look good. So we will come back to these in like an hour and see how they're looking. Okay, this actually is going to be the greatest reveal of all time. I love these so much. They are so much better than the ones I made yesterday. This is exactly what I was going for. I wanted the blended look. This looks so realistic to me. I'm so glad I took the time to experiment with these until they were exactly how I wanted, because this I'm obsessed with. This is exactly what I was going for. They're still cooling, and I also just ran the heat gun over the top of them, but I think these are perfect. They look just like a matcha latte. If you're unfamiliar with matcha, the way they're made, or at least the way I make mine, is I put the milk in first. Some people put the matcha in first, but nonetheless, you put one of those two things in first. So in this case, the look is that I put the strawberry milk in first, and then you take the matcha water and you pour it on top, and then it starts to blend just like you see here. I'm very happy with these. Let me know what you think. This is up to par with what I want to sell, so this is probably what they're going to look like, unless there's a ton of comments saying that you hate how they look. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I am going to run burn tests on these as well. I added a lot more ice cubes, so that will be interesting. If I have any major issues, I think I will just sell these as like decorative only, but I have confidence that the burn tests will work out and you'll be able to light them just fine. I will let you know how that goes in the next video. I'll do that between now and the next video, but I am just so happy with these. I really like the look of the ice cubes on top as well. I think that looks super realistic. I left room between the cubes and the wick as well. As you can see, that was intentional to help with, you know, the safety of burning. I see plenty of people pile ice cubes into the vessels and the ice cubes are touching the wicks and they still burn them and they sell them as safe to burn. So I don't know how big of a deal it is, but I want to be as safe as possible. So this is what we have. And yeah, let me know what you think. Hopefully you love them as well. I'm excited to make many more. And I'm going to end this episode here. In the next episode, we can start actually making the candles that we're going to sell and bulk making the candles, along with creating the labels and figuring out marketing and a launch date for them, which is very exciting. But I really hope you enjoyed this episode. It was so fun to actually create a matcha candle and have this idea come to fruition. Like I said, I'm going to do some more burn tests off camera. And by the time I start filming the next episode, I'll have all that figured out so we can just get to bulk making the candles and, like I said, marketing them, making the labels for them, all that fun stuff. So I hope to see you in the next one. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. It really helps me out. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.